So recently we traded the Regal for a new toy, and we're gonna be going over that and all of its features and what's special about it in this video. So what do we have here?
This is a 99 Chevy tractor. It's pretty much the same as like the old Geo tractors. They're both copies of like a Suzuki Sidekick. And I've been looking at these for a while, been wanting one. What's cool about these is they're pretty small. They're not much bigger than like a side-by-side. So I bought it as more of like a UTV than like an actual car.
So what's all done to it?
This has actually had quite a bit of work done to it, which is why I traded my nice car for this kind of piece of junk looking thing, because I didn't really feel like doing all the upgrades myself. I don't really have a lot of time. But anyway, this whole paint's pretty cool, even though it's not perfect. It's all been like a Rhino line or like a Line-X. So it's a really durable paint. You can brush up across trees and stuff. It's not really going to hurt it. It's got this nice off-road bumper. Somebody probably custom made for it. It's got a big, powerful winch that works well. I just put these on the other day. These are tractor tires. I was looking at different off-road tires, and you know, like the UTV ones are kind of expensive. A lot of the real aggressive ones are like $200 a tire. These are tractor tires, and they were like 60-some bucks. And this tread is amazing. There's like inches of tread here. And this is a 16-inch tire though. You gotta have a 16-inch wheel. So I grabbed these off of like a Suzuki Grand Vitara from the junkyard. And I was able to mount these tires on here. If you want to do the same thing, these things, somebody gets the tire size. It's kind of a weird, it's not like a normal number of tires. It's a 7-16 tire. It's about 29 inches. I got kind of a smaller tire, that way if I'm climbing up on something and the suspension kind of goes up, I'm not rubbing anywhere. You can get they make these like an inch wider and like a 31 too, but these would be probably amazing off-road. So I'm pretty glad on that. And they're narrow too. I didn't want something that stuck out real wide. I'm trying to fit this on like a UTV trail. And then the inside's kind of dirty. It's actually been Line-X on the inside too. I'm gonna probably wash it out a little bit. Does
it have any modifications that make it more capable off-road?
It does. It's had quite a bit of work done to it. It actually has a front diff out of a Grand Vitara. There's actually have a steel housing instead of the aluminum one that came stock on these, so that's a lot stronger. It's got a little lift kit on it. It's got a locker in the front, and it's a welded rear end in the back. So it actually drives all 4 tires. Most 4-wheel drives are, you know, a lot of them have an open diff. Some might have a locker in the back. This has got all 4. And it's also been switched over. It's got locking hubs in the front, so you can unlock and unlock the front axles if you want. And it doesn't weigh much, so it should, like, so you try to take a big diesel truck off-road, a lot of times it'll just sink and they don't do so good. This thing's light enough where it should be really fun off-road.
What all work does it need, or is it just good to go?
It's pretty good to go. I'm changing some things on it. There's a few things that it needs done. I'm gonna go ahead and paint everything on it because the paint's kind of rough on the bumpers and stuff. It's got a little rust, you know, it's an off-road toy. I'm not really too worried about that. I'm gonna go ahead and patch, you know, it's a pretty good size hole in the floorboard here. I'm gonna patch that. This side's already been patched right here. That side's been patched up there. There's a hole back there I'm gonna patch. And then the other thing I was doing is the seats were kind of gross. It's been out in the weather. They're kind of almost like moldy. It's disgusting. So I wanted a seat that I could just like rinse off, like not even have any fabric on it. So I had these seats laying around. I kicked them out of a car. They're little plastic racing seats. I think these will work out good. You can just hose them off when you're done. So what I'm doing is I'm going to take, this is a stock seat. I took the seat cushion off here with these 4 bolts, and I'm just going to hack off the whole top of the seat and I want to keep the slider. I want to be able to adjust the seating position, and the seat belt. I want to keep the seat belt, but I don't need this whole top. This thing's all one piece. So I'm just going to cut this off. I'm going to make a little adapter to adapt the bottom of this to fit here, and we'll have some nice plastic seats. So here's the seat bracket all. I cut the top of it off. I'm probably going to go ahead and clean up these edges so they're not as sharp so it doesn't catch on anything. But I went ahead and I welded up some seat brackets. I just placed the seat in here and seen about where I wanted to sit. And what I need to do is the mounting of the new seat, it needs to be back more. If you put it about where this is, it's too far forward. So I'm just gonna go ahead and weld this on here, and then or actually it's backwards. Yeah, so the holes need to go back. Yeah, so I'm gonna weld this on, and then this new plastic seat will bolt right to it, and we'll have some nice good off-road seats. So I went ahead and welded on there. The seat was at a bit of an angle, so actually I put the plate underneath these front ones, but should work pretty good. And now the plastic sheet should slide right in there. Ever since this COVID thing, I've been itching to have a little fun in a car, but all the drag strips are closed, off-road parks are closed. But now that I got a proper seat, maybe I'll try this thing out. See if it can come up on this little stump to start out with. Pretty easy.
We got a even bigger stump in the back, so we're gonna try that next.
This one's much taller. Goes up to about my knee. Goes right below the knee. Let's see what happens.
I thought it was going to flip, I'm not gonna lie.
So that's some pretty good articulation there. I can put my whole shoe underneath there. So as you can see, this thing's pretty capable off-road. It can climb up almost anything. And this is why I went with the smaller tire. Like if I were to have this steered a certain way or something, I want to make sure there's plenty of clearance. So this thing's pretty fun in my backyard, and it's going to be really fun in an off-road park or some trails and stuff. I actually know some that are open. It's kind of why I'm focusing on this versus some other projects, because I can actually take this out and enjoy it now. So let's go ahead, with driver's seats in there good. Let's go ahead and hook up the passenger side, and then I can take somebody else along for this crazy ride. I'm 6'4", and I put the seat all the way back, and then I put it where I wanted to sit, where I thought would be a good spot. And then now we'll see if it should slide up enough to where he can sit comfortably in it. Go ahead, Trent. Yeah, so that was the cheapest way. They make like aftermarket sliders and stuff. I just cut up the factory one, and it works pretty good. So now we should both be able to drive this thing, and should be pretty fun. So let's go ahead, we'll cut up this passenger seat and do the same thing to it. And then I'll probably pull them out and paint them so they don't rust. And then I'll patch a couple little holes in the floor, and this thing will be ready for some trails. Got this piece of steel I had laying around. I'm just gonna fit that right in there like that, and weld it in. Well, I'm running out of daylight, so I'm gonna have to end it here, but I got this all patched up. I put a piece of angle back in this corner and then put that on top of there. That's nice and solid. I went ahead and painted it while I had the paint out. I went ahead and hit this front bumper, which looks a lot nicer now. So that's gonna do it for this one. I'll catch y'all next time.